Alrighty, well, hello D&D friends, and welcome to Holy Rollerz Descent into Avernus, episode 12. We're the D&D show about a divine fellowship of clerics and paladins that descended into the hells to rescue the city of Elturel, with one druid in tow and a witch priest also. The twin missions entrusted to them by the gods are one, to find a way to break the chains dragging the city of Elturel into Avernus, and two, to find a way to destroy the solar incendiators, the artifacts keeping multiple cities bound to the hell plane. Holy Rollerz is a 9-person stream with 2 parties switching off every week. The Chainbreakers and the Sword Hunters. Let us introduce our Sword Hunter cast for tonight, starting with JT.
Hey everybody, I'm JT. I play Anduriel. He is a warlock cleric. He's warlock to the Piper and a cleric of Naylock. And Naylock is the god of death, shadow, vengeance, spooky things. Very spooky.
And Tommy.
Hi, I am Tommy, and I play Odelia. I'm a cleric of Moiris, the water goddess, and also a wee bit barbarian.
Very lovely. And John.
Hi, everybody. I'm John. I play Thora Mikitas, a druid of Finhafara, the mother of natural earth.
And Ryan.
And I'm Ryan. I play Lachlan Dulay, who is the bard paladin of Sindel, goddess of love, beauty, and truth.
Lachlan is also our NC-17 member of the party, both as the DM of the other stream and also here on this one. He'll be keeping it as PG as he can during this episode, but no promises. So PG-13 rating, everybody, just to let you know. In any case, I am Sage of Sorcery, also known as Matt. I am your humble ginger dungeon master for the evening. I also play Sister Fadaver on the other stream, the paladin cleric of Bestera, the goddess of healing and protection. She has a black belt in self-righteous. So now for a brief recap. Last time on our Sword Hunter stream, the Hallowed Council bargained with Mad Maggie, a night hag, and the preeminent warlord of Avernus. Maggie seemed to instantly recognize Ashbeak as Zariel's animal companion, and she offered many soul coins, the currency of hells, in exchange for the animal. The fledgling phoenix immediately began to panic and flee until Thora used his nature stills to calm the wee beastie, making noises that perfectly mimicked the bird and a phoenix in particular. We were wowed. The party then entered into an agreement with the night hag that she would use her magic to delve into Ashbeak's lost memories for the way to destroy the solar incendiators, dread artifacts keeping cities trapped in Avernus. In exchange, Mad Maggie asked us to put down and humiliate a rival Avernus warlord named Fioner, a necromancer whose zombie armies are growing too numerous. When the night hag began her ritual, the party first found themselves in a dream of Mount Celestia, where Zariel had first received her angelic assignment to watch in Avernus. And they found themselves in a musical, an idealized version of the Phoenix's time at Zariel's side. But the scene quickly shifted to a darker memory, where Zariel and Ashbeak were laid low by a band of acid devils. To push past the memory, the party then engaged the acid demons in psychic battle, which was compounded when Anduriel's insecurities intruded into the dream in vampire form. And the battle resumes. Anduriel, do you have any comment about that, perhaps? Or
Anduriel's busy being very hurt at the moment.
Okay.
Not even like emotionally, he's physically like feeling very hurt.
Yeah, so what you mean is that he is in actual physical pain from the wounds that the acid demons did to him.
Yeah, that was rude.
Alrighty. So if we are picking up things in this battle, Jeffrey, cue that battle music or any battle music that we might have, since we have multiple, and we will look at the initiative. Now, I have here that we left off on the vampire Anduriel's turn. Is that accurate? Or are we back at the beginning of initiative?
No, it is his turn.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, Vampire Anduriel is pretty much going after you. So Anduriel, he looks at you, and with his minor action, he says, "You see, weakling, if you had your vampiric strength, you would have fallen so easily to this devil vermin." And then he is going to make a lovely attack upon your person. He is going to use Taste of Life and let's see how that works. Anduriel, does a 21 hit your fortitude?
It does.
It does. All right, so Anduriel is hit unless anybody is interfering in any way. Anduriel, he hits you with Taste of Life, and so he launches himself at you, and it's not too difficult because he is adjacent to you, and he bites you, and he is going
Well, if
to
he moves closer to me, he can't.
Oh, you had pushed him 3 squares away?
He's in the grasp of the Iron Tower.
Gotcha.
I don't know what that means for his
Also,
attack, but...
The last thing that I did was cast Granite Shield, which gives Anduriel a +5 to resist. It says you gain a resist 5 to all damage.
That would do
Gotcha.
it.
Okay. Well, in that case, Anduriel, I believe that you had pushed him. I wrote down 3 squares, so you had pushed him 3 squares away. Is that accurate?
No, I didn't. I don't have any. I didn't push him. It's just the grasp of the Iron Tower makes it so he can't move closer to me until the end of my next turn.
But you shifted away in order to be able to cast that. So I am now
I did shift away, yes.
Vampire Anduriel, I am now putting in 14N. He is 1 square to the right. So Vampire Anduriel instead is going to launch a spell, a clerical spell at you, Anduriel. So does a 25, no, 3 minus that. It's not using the weapon bonus to that. Does a 22 hit your reflex, Anduriel?
Not with my friend Odelia's
Granite Shield.
Granite Shield?
Shield.
All right. He grabs his holy symbol, Anduriel, which ironically it looks a lot like your symbol, that little disc of obsidian that represents the night and also the darkness. And he whispers a prayer to Naylock, and he flings out his hand and casts Searing Shadow at you and launches a hungry bolt of shadow energy. And you move left, you moved right, and you're like, you're like you can't get away from it because it came too fast. And it slams right into Odelia's shield, and it diminishes, and the shadow just kind of melts over you. And he looks at you, and he bares his fangs and just goes at you in a rage. And that, unfortunately, because he got hit with Grasp of the Iron Tower, is all he is going to be able to do. However, you now know that he is able to mimic your cleric abilities. Next up, Lachlan, my friend, it is your turn. Lachlan Dulé.
Yes. Sorry, I was looking at an old initiative, I guess. So I thought I was after Thora.
It goes Anduriel, Slime Devils, Odelia, Vampire Anduriel, Lachlan, Thora.
Okay.
And only
Alrighty.
one of these bad boys has been harmed so far.
Yeah, and they're pretty icky.
They're awful. They're horrible. I'll be happy to describe them while you look at your turn. These are acid devils. They're wearing what looks to be a kind of bronze armor. Their skin itself is tan, but it's dripping with perspiration. And as that perspiration drops off of them, it sizzles on the ground of the ruins in front of you in the landscape of Avernus. So they look vile. They also move a little bit like oozes. Their forms, like they're twisting too far at the waist for a normal biped to be able to twist. Their movements are just a little bit too gushy.
Well, I think I need to blunder one of these. So I am going to use blunder on the one in 13L.
Okay, is blunder a melee attack or is it a ranged attack?
It's not. It's a ranged attack, but I have
Shadow Dance armor or
no. I have my expertise feat makes it so that as long as I'm wielding a weapon, I don't go attack buffs.
all right, my friend. Then
So-
I'm assuming you're going to go after one of these bad boys.
What's his will? Let's see. That's 27.
What's his will? Would you rather have his will not? So funny. A 27 hits all of his defenses.
Right. So he's going to take 11 points of damage, and I'm
Okay.
going to slide him. Let's see. Into squared I-16,
All right.
and I think I'm going to, instead of granting an ally the attack, I'm going to attack him as he goes.
Okay.
So he Lachlan puts out his hand and says, and like swirls spins his fingers around and turns the guy, and then kind of kicks him in the butt and sends him dancing away from him, and then stabs him in the back for good measure. That's a 31 versus AC.
That'll do, pig.
This is Radiant. Is Radiant going to do anything special?
No, he is not particularly vulnerable to radiant damage. He's not undead.
No. Okay. Well, it's 13 Radiant.
Okay, so a total of 24 points of damage.
Okay, actually, I'm going to use Mocking Smite, which is a free action when I hit. So as he goes away, he says, "You get over there, you hideous nightmare who can't hit anything. You want to be demon." And then he takes 9 more points of damage, and I turn invisible. And
that 9 more points of damage is all about the insult too. Like, it's bad enough that you kicked a devil in the butt and sent him like skeetering forward, but you mocked him as you did it. So you did a total of 33 points of damage. It doesn't bloody him, but it hurts him really badly, and that gives you an idea of how tough the rest of these chaps might be as well. So we'll do the math here. So it doesn't bloody him, unfortunately. It close to bloodies him. And that would be Mr. Lachlan's turn. Thora, Mikitas, my friend, it is your turn. Lachlan is in square 12L.
Thank you. Thora is going to move 1 square up into P16.
Okay.
And then he's going to blast a daily. He's going to cast Wall of Thorns. 8 squares, so from O16 to H16 is now a 4-foot tall wall of thorns.
Ooh.
And anything that enters it takes damage, and it takes 3 movement to move through it.
So you just made the devils have to go past you or through the wall of thorns, and you stuck one of the devils in the wall of thorns too, as well.
Yep.
Okay. So you had to move, and you did a standard. Do you have a minor action you want to do, or anything you want to say or shout out?
Not currently, but that devil or demon, that goo boy,
Mm-hmm.
is going to take 1d10 plus 4.
All right, go for it, my friend.
That is 9 for 13 damage, ongoing 5 damage saves ends.
Ooh. He is definitely bloodied now, my friends. Okay. Excelente. All right, so Thora casts his spell, and a wall of thorns divides the battlefield in half and buries one of the devils. And that slime devil, he got booted forward. He's like infuriated. He twirls his pike around and he starts to whirl, and it's gross too because his legs plant, but the rest of him like moves around like exorcist style. Like his hips, have way too much rotation, and he looks like he's gonna charge, and then these vines come up all around him. He's like, "No, sir, ah!" And the vines come up around him and twist around him. They cut into him, and he starts screaming because, as we all know, death is permanent death for a devil on Avernus. And oh no, it looks like we lost Sister Tommy. So we're gonna re-invite her, and hopefully that will work out just fine. And it's the slime devil's turn, so poor Odelia. Imagine that we are going to get a Facebook message here in a minute from Tommy telling us what has happened. She also might currently be yelling at the kids to get off of Netflix, which, as we all know, will murder your bandwidth half to death. So, can you re-invite me? My internet kicks me off. There it comes, and there she is. And I believe, which is good because some of these devils are going to maybe want to attack her at some point here. Okay, and it's the devil's turn. So hopefully she'll be able to pick it up here. And I don't see her, so I will continue to invite her, but we will continue on for now until we can get her back. All right, so that is Thora's turn. And Duriel, we're back up to the top. It is your turn, my friend.
Hooray! So, after Vamp Duriel misses with the shadow attack, and Duriel's going to kind of look over at him and sneer a little bit and be like, "Well, vampire, are you sure Naylock is with you today? Perhaps he isn't so fond of you after all." And I'm going to attack him with Overwhelming Shadow.
Oh, well, that seems excessive, but go right on ahead and get him.
Let's see. That is a 17 on the dice. I'm pretty sure that's gonna
hit everything.
That'll hit. 2d6. That is 15 points of damage, and the target is blinded until the end of my next turn.
All right. 15 points.
So what happens is, after I say that, I grab a hold of my holy symbol, and I say a prayer to Naylock, and you see the shadow come off of Anduriel and start to it flies over to Vamp Duriel and creates this kind of like cone of darkness just all over him.
Okay, so your hungry shadows devour him. What kind of damage does that do, Anduriel?
It doesn't say.
This is the version of Searing Light we made, right?
Correct, yeah.
So I believe it does necrotic damage, unfortunately.
Divine Implement, Cleric Attack. Sorry, you may be right. It just doesn't say on here.
I think I am. And unfortunately, he has a little bit of resistance. He doesn't have total resistance to it. So it does 8 damage instead of the 15. As you remember that Vampire you had resistance to necrotic damage, whereas current you does not so much have it. So you hit him, the shadow watches over him, but it just doesn't do what you think it should. And all right. There we go. All right, that is your turn. All right, Anduriel, you still have a move and you have a minor.
Yes, so for my move action, I'm going to 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to move to 11J.
Okay. You are going to provoke 2 attacks of opportunity if you do that.
2 from
the devils on either side of you.
Oh,
you got 2 devils that are touching your square. If you look at the screen, you can see.
I'd have to shift first, huh?
You can shift, but that will be your whole move action.
Yeah.
Unless you have a teleport of some kind.
I do, but it's of a triggered nature. What I'll do then is use Healing Word on myself.
Okay.
And stay where I'm at.
Alrighty. All right. Good move on yourself. And don't forget to roll the 2d6 that goes on top of that surge that you use.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. And we look like we have Tommy back, which is good. That's okay. Get them kids off Netflix, right? That's like
that is in fact what I had to do.
Yeah. I just messaged my wife also and said, you tell those kids to get off Google Docs. It's killing me here. That's okay.
No time for school.
This is a ridiculous use of time. All right, we're gonna move on. All right. So Anduriel just threw a necrotic spell at the vampire, which stings him, but it just kind of stings him. It doesn't really wound him too badly. And now it is those horrid devils' turn. Well, we'll start with the devil who's stuck in Thora's wall. He is going to take himself 5 ongoing points of damage. and he has no desire to be involved in that madness. So he is going to move out. Does he have to make any special roll to move out, Thor? Or does it just cost him a square? You are muted, my friend.
It costs him 3 squares to move out of the wall.
Oh.
And at the start of his turn, he takes another D10 plus 4.
Oh, well, that's in addition to his ongoing 5.
Yep. So
Okay.
another 10 points of damage.
Alrighty. Oh my gosh.
Wall of Thorns
Okay.
is very strong.
Okay. So you rock and just hammer this guy back and forth, and he goes and goes screaming as he climbs out of the wall of thorns, and it's really scary because he climbs out and his head pops out, and one of your thorns goes like and pulls it back in. He's like, no, and he comes back in and struggles. He does finally manage to get out, and it drops him so low on hit points that, fearing the permanent death, he bolts. He throws down his pike and he runs off the battlefield to the left. So he will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. All right. He is off the map now, down row 17. The second devil is gone. He has no. Ain't nobody got time for that, is basically what happens. However, Thora, you do have 2 more devils down there who look at you and see what you did and decide that you've made yourself a wee lovely target. So 2 of them are going to move into square 17P and 17O, and 16O, and they are going to triple flank you. The one who moves into 16O, Thora, provokes an attack of opportunity from you as he moves into position.
Okay.
That's gonna put him in the thorns too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, Ryan. He is moving. He's partially moving through a threatened square. What happens when someone tries to move through the wall, Thora?
It for every square, it takes 3 squares to move through it.
Okay, so
And
1, 2,
when they enter, they take the D10 damage.
all right, so he's partially moving through it. So go ahead and roll your die 10 damage.
That is 7, so 11 points of damage.
Alrighty.
And can I, quick DM ruling, can you cast spells as an attack of opportunity, or is it just like a standard melee attack?
It's only a melee attack, unless
That's
the
what I
spell specifically says that it can be used with an attack of opportunity. And there are some, there just aren't many.
That is what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
So FYI, those of you who are looking, that's where Thora is now. He's got himself 3 devils around him.
I'm okay.
It's fine.
I have a plan.
It's fine. All right,
So
you still-
he's going to try and whack the guy with the staff.
Ooh! All right, bring it.
Okay. So another D20 roll.
That's right, back
it
it up.
14 plus 7.
21 does not back it up, unfortunately. But you did
Really?
hit. Yeah,
Darn.
his AC is 23. He's a healthy boy.
Oh, poop.
They are wearing nice armor.
Okay. And so I still get to deal the damage though.
Yes, you do.
So he takes a total of 4 points of damage.
That's all right. All right. All right, Thora, unfortunately, you are now going to take some nasty attacks here. 2 of them are going to stab you with pole arms, or try to. What is your AC, my friend?
I am going to use an immediate interrupt.
All right. Well, I highly recommend that.
I use Swarm Dispersal and get resist 10 to all damage until the end of my next turn.
Oh, look at you. Very nice. Well, let's see if they even hit you. I mean, one of them's probably going to hit you, but
Yeah.
What is your AC, my friend?
My AC is low.
Okay.
I believe 19.
Well, a 23 is a hit,
Yep.
and a 25 is a hit then.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Okay. So 2 of them are just going to stab you, and you are going to take 9 plus 5 is 14 from one, and 9 plus 5, so you will take 28 points of damage total from two of them stabbing you with their acidic pikes.
Even
But
with the -10?
with -10, you are only going to take, it looks like, 8 points of damage.
Yo!
Yeah. So they come in and they stab you, and you just disperse.
Oh.
Your robe is now full. Your robe is still filled out, but it's filled out with bugs, and they're stabbing at all the bugs like, oh, stupid druid, and then swearing at you in infernal. And the other one is going to try something a little bit different. He is going to go and try to grapple you. What is your reflex, Thora?
17.
All right, he needs a 4, and he rolls a 14.
Yeah.
So he manages to grab hold of you and latches on. So Thora, you are grabbed, and he actually shifts into your square. So the devil that was right below you in 16p shifts into your square, and the way that he does that is his body just kind of melts into your robe, and it begins to burn you. Until the grab ends, you are dazed and you take ongoing 10 acid damage. When the devil has the target grabbed, attacks deal it damage half, and the other half goes to you if somebody else attacks. So when the devil moves, it can also pull you with the target. In addition, the target remains grabbed, and the devil does not provoke the attack of opportunity, moving you with the target. So he just kind of, I mean, it's like there's armor resting on you and acid and goo. I mean, it's in your robe. He's all over the bugs, and he screeches something out in infernal. You're not sure what it is, but it might be something like, I'm lying on these bugs. It's disgusting. So, but that will be the 3 of them. Now, the other 3, Anduriel, 2 of them are on you, but one of them sees what Lachlan did and decides that they're going to pull the other one. Lachlan, what is your reflex?
Well, I'm invisible, so.
Oh, you sneaky little mocking smiter! You.
Very good. Very good.
That's so you. Okay, so one of them, Odelia, is going to attack you. He shifts into square 13J, and that's the first one. And Odelia, he is going to use acid lash on you. He reaches down at his weapon belt, and he grabs an iron rod, and it's not righteous at all. And he takes it and pulls, and a lash constructed purely of acid extends from the ends of it. And he takes that acid lash and he goes, I haven't tortured a halfling in forever. And he swings his acid lash at you. What is your reflex, Odelia?
He takes 9 points of radiant.
Why? Did you mark him?
He's shifted out of my defender aura. So yes.
Oh no. He's gonna pay for that, isn't he?
Yeah. So he gets just a rosy glow just appears around him and burns him on his way away.
All right. So he goes, I haven't tortured a halfling. Ah! And then he moves out as Lachlan's spell zaps him.
So with this granite shield where it says you gain resist 5 to all damage, do I add that to my, what do you add that to?
You subtract it from whatever hits you take. So if he hits you, you'll
from the damage.
Mm-hmm. If he hits you, you'll subtract 5 points off the damage.
Well, my reflex is only 15.
Well, he gets a plus 13, so he needs a whopping 2 to hit you. And he gets himself a 7. Odelia, you are going to take 13 plus 7, 20 points of acid damage, Odelia, and you are
minus
grabbed.
The 5?
Yep, so you only take 8.
Oh.
And Anduriel, the other one looks like he wants to hug you, just like the one is hugging Thora. So he is going to make that attack on you. He's going to use acid grapple on you. Oh! So sorry. So sorry.
I really don't feel like you are.
That is a 9 plus, that's a 22 to back it up. Does a 22 hit your reflex?
No, it does not.
Ooh, very nice. Sometimes it's good to be have a high dexterity. All right, so no backup, which is very good. Okay, Anduriel, he moves into your square and does the same thing. He kind of wraps himself around you, and you are grabbed and will be taking ongoing acid damage. So update, friends. Here's what the battleground now looks like. If you take a look at it, Odelia, you have a lash. Actually, I think I just did that wrong. That lash should be going towards Odelia. Excuse me while I shake the world. Okay. All right, there we go. That's better. All right, this is what we're looking at right now. Thora has one on top of him and two next to him. And Duriel has one on top of him. And Lachlan is invisible, just lastly. And there's one devil right next to that pit with a acid lash around Odelia. And that is the place the vampire is stuck there with the grasp. That's their turn. Odelia, it is now your turn. Odelia, as long as the target is grabbed by the lash, it takes 10 acid damage at the start of your turn. So you take 10 acid damage. And Duriel.
Real quick, that just triggered Kaiafon's leap, so I'm going to teleport out of homie's grasp.
You don't want to let him hug you? You just can't accept the
No,
affection?
he's not a hugger. And Duriel's not a hugger.
All right. Where are you going, Anduriel?
Teleport to 12M.
All right.
No, 12N as in Nancy.
All right. All right, so there's just a little updated look right there as Anduriel teleports, and that acid devil or the slime devil is now hugging nothing. So Anduriel, he is now hugging nothing. So it leaps on you. You just watch this thing leap on Thor. You're like, nope, nope. And so the words of that strange spell fill your head, despite the fact that you've never learned them. And with a quick chant of Fey magical language, you vanish in sparkles. You vanish.
No, not sparkles. He's not even a vampire anymore.
Okay, so maybe you vanish with 3 notes of music on a pipe or something like that, and out you go. So, very nice.
He pipes me along.
All right, Odelia, it is now your turn officially, unless anyone else has something that they would like to do in response to being hugged by a slime devil.
So it's got me with its lash.
You take 10 points of damage, Odelia, unless the granite shield is still working. How long does it go?
It is. Well,
okay, so you only take...
I don't know. How long does it last?
Till the end of your next turn, maybe?
Let me just... Where did it go? Here it is.
Take a gander. We have the time.
Yeah, it says it lasts until the end of your next turn, so it'll be throughout this turn.
Okay, so you only take 5 points of acid damage, and it does manage to get through your granite shield clerical powers. So you feel it burning you, but you are grabbed, sister.
So here's my question. I'm very angry now.
Okay.
Can I move with this? Or how?
You can move, but you are at the end of a 1 square leash or 2 square leash.
Oh,
so you could move closer.
This is not the problem. I have no problem moving closer.
Okay.
Because I am very angry now at the way that these things have provoked my friends unprovoked, and I am going to rage.
Oh dear.
And sorry, I'm looking for the right thing. This is called the Mama Bear Rage.
Okay, and who are you going to be attacking with this?
The devil that's got me with his acid lash thing.
Okay, if you go for him, you'll provoke an attack of opportunity from Devil 3, who is right above you.
I don't much care.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, all right.
I'm just going straight for the one that's got me because he's also very close to Anduriel.
Okay, does a 23 hit your AC, Odelia?
Yes. So I don't get any help to AC from the granite.
No, it just reduces the damage that you'll take from the hit. So,
I really regret that.
Well, not necessarily. You would have taken 16 points of damage, but now you're only going to take 13, and you may now charge Devil 1 with your attack. And he really doesn't expect that, because most people that he lashes with his acid lash scream and run. They don't charge towards him.
So you said I took 13 for that.
You took 13 points of acid damage, yes.
All right. I'm not doing well, by the way. Okay. So I scream and just instead of trying to get away, I just run right over and attack that devil. Here's my question though. If I do this, because it's a +4 bonus to grab, if I grab this guy, am I going to do more damage to myself than to this guy?
That is a really good question. You think it's reasonable that if you grab him, you could probably grab him by his armor and not his acidic skin.
Excellent. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so Odelia screams and she just runs straight at the devil that's got her with the lash, not caring about any consequences at all.
Like tackling a
And that
cactus.
is a 25.
And that is a hit.
$16 damage.
Okay. And you have grabbed him?
Yes.
Okay. He really doesn't like that. All right, and you're sure you added your correct damage bonus on the power?
2d8 plus 6 is what it says at the top of the
Okay.
thing.
Alrighty. So he's not expecting this. And you also have a minor action. Do you want to use Healing Word, perhaps, to heal yourself or something like it?
I already used it. I used it on Anduriel.
Oh, that's no good. Okay. Okay. What? Do you have anything else that might heal you?
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Because you still have a minor action, and you could use your action
I'm
point.
also going to. Can I use my movement and my barbarian action here to push the devil away from Anduriel?
Well, Anduriel is no longer near the devil, so that's not an issue. But a push is a standard action.
Can I push him right? Can I push him right into the wall of thorns?
No, you'd have to pull him into the wall of thorns, or be in a
Okay.
position to push him.
Well, I have got him by the armor.
You
can I-
could. You do have him grabbed.
around? Can I use my movement instead of moving? Can I just swing him around into the wall of thorns?
Well, you used your move to charge, unless your Mama Bear Rage power says you get a free charge.
There. So I'm trying to figure out. I haven't raged very much, and I can't remember how it works.
So let me take a look at it here, and we will figure this madness out together. And let me first. I have to drop a
I know-
lavender on the floor. One moment. And let's see if I can't shed some light on this madness. Oh, that's not you. That's a red cap.
No more red
That's that's not you. That's a Kenku engineer. So sorry. Okay.
So I know there's something about when you're raging that you can push people more.
Okay. All right. That might be one of your character class abilities. So let us take a look. Rampage, critical hit grant. I don't see anything on here that says you could do that.
Okay.
For now. Yeah, I don't see anything on here that says that you can do. Yeah, I don't. But that does sound familiar. I'm not sure what that might be. Oh, it's your Howling Strike. If you are raging, you can move 2 extra squares as part of a charge. That's your Howling Strike ability. There.
Next time.
Sorry. Okay. Now, if you want, you could use your action point to grab him and try to throw him into the wall.
I think I'll hang on to it.
Okay. All right. That was Odelia's mighty turn. And now it is the vampire's turn. And Anduriel, he does not like you. And I think we've kind of established that he doesn't like you. And you hit him with a shadow spell. And first things first, at the end of your turn, does he get to save versus the grasping iron hand?
No, it's at the end of my turn.
Gotcha.
It was gone.
He was freed. Okay. So he looks at you
But
and
he is
says,
blinded.
he is blinded. Oh, and he will have to save towards that. He yells out at you, says, "Look at you muling off to the living. The kind whose very breath you always mocked as a sign of weakness. I need friends. We were stronger alone!" And he rails that out at you. And then he is going to do something out of anger, most likely. He is going to... What is he going to do? My goodness gracious. Anduriel, he is going to charge you and try to bite you. He doesn't want to drop any of his more powerful stuff. He has a -5 to attack because he's blinded. So we'll go ahead and roll that up. He only rolled a 12, which means he only rolled a 7. So does an 18 hit your AC, Anduriel?
AC is 19.
So he missed you by 1. So he goes charging at you with the Leviathan's tooth, and he tries to stab you with Weapon of Divine Protection, and he doesn't manage to pull it off. He just barely misses you as he snarls at you that you were stronger by yourself. And that is going to be his turn, which puts him in square 13N. Right next to you. Swinging wildly and missing, and he gets to save versus being blinded, or is it just till the end of your next turn?
Just till the end of my next turn.
Okay, that is the vampire's turn. Lachlan, it is your turn, my friend.
Excellent. All right.
Hold on. I've had like 60 to hold on to
No,
what? Like, hold on.
I said excellent.
Oh.
I think I want to. How hurt is our poor little halfling?
Odelia, you tell
I'm
him.
down to 30. So, I
30?
mean, I'm more than halfway down.
So bloodied. All right. Well, let's heal her. But before I do that, I think the first thing I want to do is
Be invisible.
I want to try to. So Lachlan looks out across everything. It's he's invisible for at least for the moment, and he holds out his sword and says, "Hamina, no, not Hamina, Finhafara. I know I can channel your abilities, and your servant is in danger. Open the earth, rip that crap right open."
That's your prayer. Rip that crap on open. Okay.
Well, I know what it does, but so does she hearken?
Your prayer is sufficient. Yes. So you're gonna channel Thora's channel divinity power.
Yeah, I'd like to bust that up in a nice diagonal.
All right.
Straight from M13, and then, from L13, and drop those two devils that are next to Thora in that pit.
Okay, so here's where they are right now. Thora has 1 devil on his square and 2 that are adjacent to him, and they are in O. You see the 2 that are adjacent? So if you want to move over next to Anduriel to O, you can drop 2 of them in the pit.
That's what I want to do. So
all right,
I'll move over to O12, drop them in the pit, and then with a minor action say, "Oh, and Odelia, you're looking quite bloody. Perk up, dear," and give her a surge plus mine's a little different, plus 10, a surge plus 10. And does it make sense to slide Odelia?
Well, I think she's happy where she is.
Okay.
You can only slide her so far, too, because that acid lash is still around her. Although the devil is kind of wishing he hadn't done it.
Okay. So, what happens when they fall into the pit? Does it do any damage, or does it just like?
Well,
There
first
is
of all,
no damage, but they are prone for until the end of your next turn, I believe. Like they're just like stuck in the earth, and then they have to climb out.
how deep is the pit, Thora? You have it on your character sheet, right?
Not on my character sheet. I have it on my phone.
Gotcha.
Which is also where I keep his prayer.
That was not repeated accurately.
But that's okay because I loved it. Blah 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 blah.
Rip that crap open. Hopefully she considers the earth of Avernus to be crap.
No.
Yeah, I mean, she probably does. It is a range 10 path. Anyone in the path touching the ground falls prone, falls 2 squares, and can't rise until the end of your next turn.
Okay, so 2 squares is 1d10 points of damage, Thora. So Ryan, go ahead and roll that, Ryan, since you used the power. 1d10 points of damage to number 4
7.
and 5.
7.
7. Okay. Okay. And then.
And I would like to use an action point.
Would you?
I would. I would like to use an action point and use I think just a basic attack, my virtuous strike on the vampire.
Okay.
So Lachlan gets a big grin on his face because even though this isn't attacking Anduriel, it's kind of like attacking Anduriel, and he thinks, I've always wanted to see what this would be like. That's a 28 versus AC.
Okay. That is a hit on Vampduriel.
So he takes 12 points of radiant damage.
Ooh, and normally that would do extra damage, but there's no sun in Avernus, so he's clouded over. Okay. Thora, you have a question?
Technically, did the devil fall out of the wall of thorns? Because he was forced to move 2 squares. Would he have fallen out of the wall of thorns?
The wall of thorns is how many squares?
It is 8 squares straight, but the one right next to me was in the wall of thorns when the ground opened up beneath him.
I think technically he's hanging in the wall of thorns.
Okay.
I think he's stuck there. He's hanging in it. However, you can always will it to let him go. That's your call.
Yeah, I mean, I did.
Okay. All right. Well, you can do that on your turn if you would like to. You can cancel.
I just wanted to check.
Yeah, you can cancel that spell on your turn and let him drop right into that pit, which is going to suck for him. Okay. And that would be... all right. So, Lachlan, are you quite finished with your med? Yeah.
Yes. So I'm visible now.
Okay.
Vampduriel is also in my defender aura now. So,
okay.
If he wants to continue to attack his more righteous self,
well,
he's going to suffer for it.
He does seem like he's carrying out some kind of mission of vengeance against him. So that would be Lachlan's turn. Thora, it is your turn now. Would you like to vanish the wall of thorns?
Before I do, you had mentioned that being grappled by this thing meant I was dazed. What does that entail?
You only have your standard action. You get one thing to do.
Oh, that's okay then. I don't need to cancel the spell because I have to maintain it with minor actions. So, what does it take to break a grapple?
You just have to make an opposed athletics or acrobatics check. Are you trained by any chance?
I'm not.
All right, so half your level and your strength modifier, my friend.
But before I do...
Or dexterity, whichever is higher.
But before I do that, I am going to use my standard action to cast Knack for Success on myself and give the target a +4 power bonus to his next skill check.
Is Knack for Success standard or a free action?
It's technically it is a minor action, but can you use those as standards?
Yeah, you can use a minor action power as a standard action, but if you use Knack for Success, your turn will be over.
Oh, that's right. What about action points?
You cannot use an action point when you are dazed, unfortunately.
Okay. I'm going to
Yeah, it
try to
sucks.
escape then.
Okay.
Acrobatics. And you
half
said
your
plus
level and
half your level?
half your level and either your dexterity or your strength modifier.
$21.
Okay, well, he only rolled an 18, so you managed to break free and toss
Yay.
him off of you. And he is going to get off. Let's go ahead and roll to see which square he falls off into, because usually he comes off. But yeah, we're gonna roll here.
Okay.
All right, so he comes off into square 17P right below you.
Okay.
Teetering on the edge, and he's like as you throw him off, and he is clinging to the side of the wall and trying not to fall into that horrible pit.
So that was
right
my
next to
standard
you.
action.
And now you're done because you're dazed, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But my minor action doesn't proc, so the wall of thorns disappears, the other demon falling into the pit.
So boom, and he falls into the pit and takes the damage. Also, the wall of thorns has now vanished. All right, so this is a little update there, just for everybody to be able to see what that's looking like. Thora is now free. 2 devils in the pit, and Duriel Lachlan, and that is Thora's turn. Thora, you at the beginning of your turn were grabbed, so you take 10 acid damage, unfortunately.
But
you only take 5.
The swarm dispersal was still active, so I don't take 10.
Oh, well, ring a ding ding. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So subtract whatever damage is appropriate, and that is Thora's turn. Back up to the top, and Duriel, it is your turn, my friend. Vampire U is right in front of you, and he looks like he's out for blood. No pun intended.
I know that look. So Hero's gonna look at him and just be like, "Look around you, vampire. There's no way you can win." He's gonna point to each of his companions. "You see these people? You said that we were stronger alone, and I agree, we were strong. But because of these people here, my friends, you cannot win. You are gonna lose. That's just how it's gonna be." And so then I'm gonna cast Crown of Stars at him.
Is that a ranged attack?
It is range 10, yes.
All right. Well, then are you going to want to shift away or just take his attack of opportunity?
And Duriel still doesn't quite understand these new powers. So he's just like, "I know this worked one time. I'm going to try it again."
Okay. All right. Well, Vamp Duriel is going to take an attack on you.
Yep.
And I just have to look. And
I'd
Weapon
like
of
to say I shifted, but he just...
Weapon of Divine Perfection does not. All right. So he's just taking a melee attack at you with the Leviathan's Tooth, and he gets a 27 versus AC.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, so you take 9 points of damage as he stabs into your arm while you're chanting and moving your hands through the sigil. So
He also takes
you kind of just
9 points of radiant damage because he violated my mark.
oh, does he? Look at that. And this is Vamp Duriel. Oh, he really doesn't like you. If he weren't so obsessed with himself, he might target you. But he's just ignoring it. He just takes it. He only has eyes for Anduriel, so he's just looking at Anduriel, and he's like, and he's reaching out and stabbing. Anduriel, he stabs through your hand while you're casting your spell, but you grit through it and manage to get it off.
Okay. This is versus Reflex. So it's 24.
That's a hit.
All right. So this is going to be a big one. Right. 27 points of damage.
Oh no. I mean, oh no, for him. I
Ongoing
yeah.
damage 5, save ends.
All right.
And
what
is
does it
he
look
is
like?
he bloodied?
He's more than bloodied.
So he is blinded again.
All right. And in response, he shouts out, "Naylock, bring to life the shadow of our vengeance!" And his shadow peels off of himself and begins choking you, Anduriel, and you will take 5 points of necrotic damage at the beginning of your turn.
All right. So yeah, what happens after he stabs me? I get through it, and then so this bright blue star of crowns appears above Anduriel's head, and each of those little crown points shoots off into Vamp Duriel, and there's this choking smoke as it just leaves this trail of smoke and then smashes into the vampire.
What kind of damage does it do?
This is
Does not say.
does not say.
Okay, then it's probably
No, it's
untyped.
radiant. It says radiant.
All right, radiant damage. Okay, well, he has a little bit of resistance to radiant damage, unfortunately, as you used to, or as you do, because you are celestial blooded. So he is going to resist about 8 points of that, unfortunately.
That's fine. That's understandable.
However, he takes it. So this little crown of stars appears over your head. You're pulling the whole Hobbit cartoon Elrond crown, and they're kind of swirling around your head. And he looks up because he's not really sure, your vampire self having never seen this, what it is. And then all those motes go, beam, 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 and they start burning into him. And he's like, and they burn into his face. They burn into his hands, and then he shakes his hands and screeches. And looks generally very upset with you and with everything. And that is Anduriel's turn. Anything else you would like to do?
Yeah, I'd like to use my action point.
All right.
So now, vampire, let's finish this once and for all. And I'm going to attack with Divine Juggernaut.
Okay.
Ooh, sounds fancy.
I hope it looks fancy. I shouldn't say I have a bad feeling about this. Never mind. I have a great feeling about this.
Okay.
This is just versus AC. That wasn't a 20. Dang it. It's a
Well,
14.
get our hopes up for nothing.
Sorry, it was a 26. Dirty
That's
26.
Still a hit.
I know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's 2 weapon damage plus my strength bonus. 10, 13 plus 5, 18 points of damage. And I think the only effect is if I use Healing Word or Channel Divinity, he'll take Charisma modifier damage.
Well, would you like to use Healing Word and possibly help out poor Sister Odelia? Or yourself?
I used Healing Word on myself.
Oh, no. Well, that's okay.
I'm not terribly off now since Lachlan helped me out.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, he said, let's finish this once and for all with the vampire. And then, so Anduriel's body kind of, you see a manifestation of divine wrath. His shadow that kind of oozed over the first time, it kind of comes out in like armor around Anduriel and then shoots into the spikes, shoot into Vamp Duriel and gives a little forceful prayer for the Shadow Man.
Okay, so Shadow Anduriel comes out like he's wearing plate armor and buries your dagger into him as you stab him, and that's kind of a nasty experience for him. He looks really, really badly hurt, like he could be finished off rather quickly. And unfortunately, now it is the devil's turn. 2 of them are stuck on the ground and cannot get up, and so they are down there. However, they are still able to see Thora on the edge of the pit. and they whip out their acid lashes. And despite the fact that they are going to take a -2 to the attacks, they are going to try to whip their acid lashes at you, Thora. Thora, my friend, what is your reflex?
17.
Okay, so they need 4s to get you with their acid grapples. And that is 2 hits, unfortunately.
Yep. I had a feeling.
So, now, do you have any resistance? So we should do this one hit at a time because you're a swarm boy.
No, I don't have any resistance anymore.
Oh no. Okay.
Activated.
All right. So the first, double ones. That's lovely for you. So that's 7 points of damage with the first one,
Okay.
and that's 1 point of acid damage. And the second hit is 15 points of damage. And you are now lashed with 2 of those grapples. And if you can't get out of that or do something about it, they're going to try to pull you into that pit with them.
Okay.
So both of them have you. And the other one, he is going to try to hug you again with acidic grapple.
Okay.
And he gets a 26 versus reflex, which I'm
Yeah.
assuming is a hit. All right, so that same one crawls into your square again, Thora. And he is on top of you. So there's the dude on top of Thora right there, and the 2 devils with lashes, and it's not being, there we go. I cleared up the image a bit. So there we go, like that. And there is 1 devil left with Odelia, and he just is not liking the fact that Odelia is right there.
The one that has me, that I have, he takes 9 damage. Because
Okay.
he's starting his turn grabbed by me.
And with that 9 points of damage, Odelia, he is desperate to get away from you, so he lets go of you. Actually, he drops the acid lash, and rather than it being, a kind of a solid like weapon itself, he drops it, and the acid just dissipates into green smoke, and the handle of it clanks onto the ground, empty. And he is going to roll to try to break your grab. Are you trained in athletics?
How do I know that?
You look at your skills, which...
Oh, if it has a check, it doesn't have a check mark.
Okay, so you are not trained in athletics, Odelia, or acrobatics. So you must roll. You have a +7 bonus, and he's going to try to break out and run.
I'm just a wee halfling.
All right, he breaks the grab then with a 27, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I only rolled an 11.
Yeah, so you got an 18. So he squirms out.
That was
and,
with the 7.
Oh, ew. Okay, so Odelia, you grab him, and that 9 points of damage was you sticking him with your harpoon. So you grab him, and you say anything while you're sticking him with the harpoon?
No, I am so angry. I'm just screaming. That's
Okay. All right.
Just absolutely howling.
Okay, Odelia loses her shiz, and it's just like, sticking him, and he's like, no! And he bolts, provoking an attack of opportunity from you, Odelia.
Oh yes. So I'm going to attack him with my harpoon for sure. So that's a melee basic attack, right?
Yes, it is.
All right.
It'd be so sad for him if he dies running away from her.
From a halfling. 21.
That is a miss, unfortunately, unless you have combat advantage for some reason.
No.
All right, so he bolts Odelia. He breaks it and runs.
Is he using the run action?
Yes, he is.
Then he does grant combat advantage.
Oh.
You grant combat advantage when you run.
Well, Odelia, he grants you combat advantage, in which case you hit. So go ahead and roll up your damage.
All
The
right,
more you know.
then. Thank you very much, Lachlan. 1d8 plus 6. That would be 10 damage.
Poor guy. Okay. All right. he turns around and runs, and he pushes you off, and he's like, "No, get away!" And he kicks at you, and finally he's like, "I'm free, I'm free, I'm free!" And he turns around, and then he looks down, and your harpoon is coming out of his chest, and then he just goes slump and hits the floor, and he is very much dead in square 13J as Odelia drops him while he tries to run away.
I'm not
And
messing
down he
around
goes.
now.
That is that's just an ugly situation there for him. So that's one gone and out the door. Okay, and that was their turn. Odelia, it is now your turn.
All right. If I use a cleric power now, will I cease to be raging?
Rye, what are the rules for maintaining your rage?
And also, what benefit do I have from raging at this point? Is there? I can't quite wrap my brain around how it works.
What rage are you using?
The blood bear rage.
You enter the rage. Until the rage ends, you have a +4 to grab attacks. If they start their turn grabbed, they take 5. They take 9 points of damage.
So that's your only benefit. If you plan on doing any more grabbing, then you keep going. But it doesn't end till the end of the encounter.
Okay. Can you please show me where the remaining devils are?
Yes, absolutely. So there's the Wii map. Odelia, there is a devil next to you, 2 in the pit, and there's this one right here that is on top of Thora across the pit. There's one devil next to you, and he is unharmed at this point.
All right, then. Here's what's going to happen. Can I just... let's see here. 1, 2... If I stay adjacent to the devil that's next to me, even if I move around him, I won't provoke an attack of opportunity?
You provoke an attack of opportunity if you move through a square that is adjacent to him.
Oh, okay. So I can't, go around and still be in melee. Okay.
No.
Then I will say what I was planning to do for after I take care of this guy. And I am...
Just look here. Have you used Buffeting Wave yet, Odelia?
That's what I was going to use, but I wanted to get where I wanted to get to where I could get all these guys who are by Thora, but I can't get around. It's only a verse 3, so I need to get closer to them, but I don't want to provoke an attack of opportunity. Although maybe it would be worth it. I am really angry still.
It's up to you.
You know, I'm gonna do it. I'm very, very mad. All right. So
he rolls a 28, which will hit your AC, and you take 9 plus 5. You take 14 points of damage.
Sorry for wasting that, Lachlan. 14.
Yes, 14. However, you can go wherever you want now.
But
he sticks you with the pike, but you just seem to not notice.
So I'm going to, if I go to N15.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That lets me hit everybody with a burst 3.
Yes, it would.
All right. So I just blaze right past him, and I don't even feel it when he comes after me. And I am going to stand in the middle of all these devils and raise my hands and say, Moiris, the time is now, and just bring down a huge wave that will just come and knock them all out.
Are you going to throw them all into that pit?
Well, 2 of them are already in there. I was hoping to drown them.
Well, it's going to be a problem for them. Okay. However, the one that is right next to you, you can move to any square within range of the power. Would you like to dump him in the pit?
I'd like to throw him in the pit as well.
Okay. Do you want to dump him next to his friends or on top of his friends?
Oh, on top would be lovely if that's a possibility.
Okay. So we've got, oh boy, this is going to be fun. We've got 3 and 4. on top of each other. And that's gonna hurt. And we've got 5 and 6 on top of each other. If this is what you would like to do, Odelia. Let's let that image come on. It's
Just a
sharpen up.
moment.
It's
not-
thinking. It's going, well, I could, but sharpen
I
up
think I
you.
get the gist. That works
All
very
right.
nicely.
I think
Okay,
that's pretty
so
good.
Laura, now do you have to hit these preciouses with this power?
Yes, it is a versus fortitude.
Okay, their fortitude is 18.
Do I have any kind of luck as a halfling?
When someone tries to hit you, you can
Yeah,
make them
that's the only-
re-roll.
I don't have a re-roll. Shoot! Because it's only a 14.
The first attack is only a 14.
Yes.
What do you need?
6. Well, if they, I need to beat theirs.
She needs 4 more.
Oh. Well, I will try Adept's Insight for you. I can. So, watching there. Mentally, okay, I rolled a 3 plus 1 is 4.
All right.
Gotcha.
So you got the first one. All right, 3 more attacks, Odelia. You get to
Come on,
attack 3
baby,
times.
come on. Ah, there's a 21.
Hit. 2 more attacks.
Ooh, 23.
Hit. 1 more.
And a natural 20.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So
Do I get to back that up?
Odelia summons the ocean, basically, and it rises up. Thora, the one that's on top of you, you both get hit in a wall of water, and it's really kind of pleasant. Thora, you feel like you're in that bed knobs and broomsticks underwater scene very briefly. You're like, slowly bobbing along, and this slime devil looks at you and he goes, no! And he gets pulled away by Odelia's wave, and they all go crashing into the pit. And what that does is drop another one of them low enough to where he would want to roll. However, Odelia, please roll 1d10 for the damage that the 2 who take fell into the pit.
1.
That's okay. Okay. So every point of damage counts. All right. I believe that they can they not get up? What else does the power do? You can drop
It
them all in
knocks
the
them
pit.
prone.
Okay. So they're all, well, they were prone when they fell in a pit, trust me. However, they also landed on their friends, who also took a point of damage from having people land on top of them. So Odelia dumps all of them in a lovely pit, and unfortunately, because of the size of the blast, the ones on the bottom are now drowning in the water.
It also does do just some regular damage as well, just the wave hitting them.
Is this buffeting wave, or is this your channel divinity?
No, this is buffeting wave.
Okay, the power you just used is channel divinity, not buffeting wave. That's how you were able to grab all 4 of them.
I thought I was doing buffeting wave, which does it's a blast 3.
Yeah, that wouldn't have hit all of them, and it wouldn't have
Okay,
grabbed the one off the
I'll
throat.
use whatever it is then.
Okay,
Fine.
all right. We just did your channel divinity, and that's not on your character sheet because that's my custom designed power. So that's the one I emailed to you. All right, you dump them all into the pit, and it is glorious. And you still have a minor action if you want to do anything.
No, I don't have anything that I can do. I just stand there panting.
Okay. All right. So she's totally freaking out and just dumped the ocean on everybody. Thora, it was very pleasant. You got a nice little, for a minute there, Avernus wasn't quite so hot for you.
Also, because it's seawater and their armor is copper, their armor is now starting to just turn green and
Ew, there's mold, there's algae growing on their armor. It's the whole
Insult to
ocean.
injury. Here we go.
and
alrighty.
does the acid get diluted because of the water?
Well, they're gonna have to secrete more if that's what you're wondering. It's gonna take a minute.
Their
It's
hair
pretty
looks
nasty.
horrible. Their hair's all messed up.
Okay, it is vamp dirt. Yeah, you ruined their hair. Their helmets came off. Now they have helmet hair, except it's wet.
So
It's just-
embarrassing. Oh my
it's
gosh.
so embarrassing. And Vampire Duriel's turn is up next. He is no
Yeah.
longer blinded now, correct?
He actually is blinded. He shook off the first blinding, but he's blinded from Crown of Stars now.
All right, with his minor action, he is going to shout out a prayer to Naylock and say, Naylock, send the cool shade to bind my wounds. And he will heal up a healing surge +3, which he desperately needs. And where is his surge value down there? Oh, his surge value is beautiful. My goodness. So he gets a few hit points back. And he is then... He is going to try to hit you with Weapon of Divine Protection. He's at a -5 again, so he only has a +6. He gets a 13 to attack your AC, Anduriel. All right, so he heals himself with his minor action. He swings for you at the move, and with his move action, he decides to taunt you again. And he swings at you and he screams and he says, "You are every faithless priest that ever thought he knew better than a god. You didn't even stop to think that the Brother of Shadows might be trying to teach you something. You jumped ship before the voyage was over. Now you'll never know how great we might have become!" And swings wildly while he's shouting at you and missing because he's blinded and just keeps getting it. And that's his turn, unfortunately. Lachlan, it is your turn.
Oh, he takes ongoing 5 also, save ends.
Yes, he does.
So he needs to save.
He did not. Okay, Lachlan, it is your turn.
I think I'm just going
There's
to
a whole...
Yeah.
There's a whole shadowy mess over here. And it's
staggering note. Staggering note, our Vampirial friend.
In what direction?
It's a push, so away from me, into the hole if I can do that.
We're going to have to move from where you are, otherwise you're going to push him away from the hole.
Oh, that's right, because we're... So if I go to... I'm going to use my Rift Boots as a move action and leave him dazzled with a -1 to his attack rolls.
Well, he's blind, so I'm going to rule that he doesn't see how dazzling you are.
But I mean, it's spectacular.
It is. It's beautiful. Odelia, I don't think you've seen Lachlan do this before. He puts one step behind him and kind of twirls in a beautiful ballet twirl. And then he just moves impossibly fast and vanishes in an explosion of glitter.
And it is glitter.
It is fabulous. I mean, it is just, it is drag queen-tastic.
I look around it like, did the rest of you see that?
And, yep. And then here's a staggering note. It's versus his will.
And he's proud when he does it too, and he swishes a little too. Which is...
21 versus will, 23 with combat advantage.
Okay, Vampirial's will is a 22, so good thing you had combat advantage.
Yeah, so he's going to take 8 thunder damage, be pushed into that hole, and on his way in, Anduriel gets a melee attack free.
Roll 1d10 for the falling damage, please.
9.
Okay. All right, Vampirial.
I'm regular Anduriel.
Or excuse me, regular Anduriel. Make your melee basic attack.
All right. That's 16 on the dice. Let's see here. I attack with just my regular dagger, right?
That would be correct. You can use you're more likely to hit with the Leviathan's Tooth.
Yeah, so but that adds 12. So that hits. That's like 28.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Yeah.
Vampirial's AC, as you remember, is not that high.
No. As I experience currently. All right, let's roll the dice. 5 plus 5, so that's 10 points of damage.
All right. That drops him to -3. Okay, so
Am I reporting to him?
Anduriel, you, Lachlan, he bangs his sword on the floor and then points it, and it like a tuning fork, it goes whoa, and sends out this sonic vibration that slams into this guy like a punch. And as he teeters over the pit, You swing your dagger and bury it in his chest. And do you say anything to him before he falls into the pit?
Yeah, I just oh, you sad creature. Anduriel, you don't understand. You're like every other person who's ever blindly followed a deity of any kind, not thinking for yourself. I've not turned my back on Nalok. You know this. I've become a more powerful servant of him than I could have ever been before. But now I have a mind of my own as well. I wish you nothing but rest. And he's just gonna let him go.
All right, he grabs onto your shirt, with blood-slicked hands, and starts slipping off. And he goes, "But what if Mother finds us?" And then he drops into the pit with a thud and a sickening crack.
He's got a point there.
Okay, Vampirial drops. Two of the slime devils are drowning in Odelia's water that she dumped into the pit. And they have their friends on top of them as well. And it's just a mess down there in the pit. Overall, everybody's bad. And what happens as all of this goes on, as Anduriel drops Vampirial, there is a sound like an eagle screeching that echoes over the entire hellscape before you. And the rest of the acid devils vanish. The pit vanishes. Zariel's body and Ashbeak's body in the corner. They over there in the corner by that other end of the ruins. Zariel vanishes and Ashbeak vanishes in the corner. Simultaneously, in the distance on a nearby hill, a column of twinkling lights pierces the ashen clouds of Avernus and illuminates some kind of pedestal in the distance. That is when quiet kind of settles over this rune. Nope, it's much farther than that in the distance. That was just a pool of water. That's a broken down tower. You're gonna have to walk ways. It looks like it's maybe a mile away, perhaps, at the top of a hill off in the distance. Just a twinkling, soft kind of multicolored, like blue and white lights, like the blue and white Christmas lights, but they're just kind of falling in this little pillar, illuminating a pedestal.
Well, this is certainly interesting.
Well, at the risk of sounding impetuous, I do think we should go investigate.
I agree.
With you.
Okay. You hear Mad Maggie's voice resound from the skies like thunder passing through the clouds. And she says, "Ooh, that's it, my sweet babies. That light represents knowledge and the next step in your journey. Go investigate, and it should carry you to the next memory."
Couldn't resist doing the head tilts.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little head tilt.
Well, it seems we should be moving on.
All right, you all head towards the hill then.
Thora certainly is.
I have a headache.
Okay. Well, you are in hell, and now
She's
you're in.
recovering. She has a rage hangover now.
Does anyone have any ibuprofen? Sister Fodbear would, but I don't know if anybody else here has a healing kit. So
Lachlan will just sing you a song about how you should feel better. Just feel better.
Yeah. Anybody have any words for Anduriel having seen Vampirial? Or do you just kind of, and I don't want to force anything your character wouldn't say. I'm just saying it was odd.
Are you all right, Anduriel? Fighting yourself, it's got to be troubling.
Well, I just killed myself.
Yes.
But he seemed to be all the rage that I had before. Some of my weaknesses, some of the strengths that I've retained. It's a very odd sensation. But I'll be all right. I'll be okay. I appreciate you guys being here with me, though.
Thora will. I think Anduriel's taller than Thora. Reaches up and just kind of like claps him on the shoulder, and says, "You defeated undeath yet again."
Okay.
Well, that's
Anduriel,
nothing to get mushy about. Let's move on.
all right. Anduriel, Thora also pats you on your other shoulder. And he says, then again, maybe it was reckless of you to throw away all of that power. Have you ever thought that perhaps you made the wrong choice? Thora, you hear your voice come from the other side of Anduriel, and it is very strange because you're probably not trained in mimicry. Anduriel, there are two Thoras standing next to you. There's Thora who came in intentionally, and there seems to be some other kind of Thora who is on your other shoulder. He's saying, I'm not sure you did the right thing. Have you thought about it? It was a very impulsive choice.
Anduriel, on the plus side, if he's anything like me, he's a diplomat, so we could probably just talk this out.
All right. He looks at you, Thora, and he leans past Anduriel, and he says, well, we could talk, but is that really the wisest course of action? I mean, perhaps this is something Anduriel ought to think about. I mean, why would he want to talk to you? Perhaps he should speak with me or with Lachlan, or keep it to himself.
Because Naylock hates undeath almost as much as Finhafara. So him giving up his vampirism is probably one of the best things he could have done in faith and for self-control and for his own well-being.
That is certainly true. However, since the curse of undeath came from Naylock, perhaps there was a point to the other vampire. Perhaps his vampiric curse was a godly test, a tribulation that he was meant to face over time, that he weaseled his way out of through a contact with the Fae. You know the Fae can be capricious. Maybe this was an unwise choice. Maybe he should try to get it back.
And this will go on for several minutes unless someone stops them.
Okay. Anduriel, by the way, they both still have their hand on your shoulder.
Yeah, that's true too. Thora has a weird personal space situation.
So Anduriel's just going to be like, he's going to kind of just shove the hands off his shoulder. Now, maybe old Anduriel was right about getting close to people. This is too much. I'm going to start walking towards this light because this whole conversation is pointless. What's done is done. I made the decision. I believe it was the right one, and I will live with it.
But is it pointless? Is it pointless, or might it be? And the other Thora just keeps following you. Maybe we should stop and talk about this. Maybe there's real purpose to this conversation.
Thora, you want to shut yourself up, please? I can't think with him in my ear.
Thora will knock him into the pit.
You gonna attack yourself?
Well, no, he's just gonna kind of go like.
He's gonna try to push him.
Yeah, just kind of shove him into the pit.
Okay, he tries to shove you into the pit, too. In which case, we will find ourselves in initiative here now. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you are now in initiative with Thora's neutrality.
Oh man, I can't fight bugs.
Okay, Thora, you are also you are also rolling the powers of the other you.
Okay.
So on his turn, I will let you go ahead and roll up your attacks on people if he chooses to attack. However, if you try to push him into the pit, he's just going to try to grab you and take you down with him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. All right. It's initiative. So go ahead and roll 2 initiative checks, please.
First was Thora, and I rolled for the first time in my life on initiative a natural 20 for a 25.
Okay.
And for bad Thora.
Not bad Thora. Highly neutral Thora.
Highly neutral Thora, that's true. I rolled a 19 for a 24.
Okay. All right. So active Thora, John Thora, is moving just a little bit faster than quite neutral Thora. So you may make a grab attack. The rest of you are welcome to roll in too if you want to do anything to help.
How do grab attacks work? Is it against AC?
Rye, can you look that up for me real quick? I think it's just a melee basic
It is.
attack.
It is against AC. Just
Okay,
a melee basic attack versus.
Let me just make sure I have my bonus correct. Yes. So that is a 22, which beats his 19 AC.
All right, you have successfully grabbed him. You may now make a strength check to throw him down into the pit.
That's another 14 plus. Would that be athletics or your melee basic again?
To pull someone is an opposed strength check. So
okay, so
you need to take what you rolled and add half your level on your strength.
So that's a dirty 20.
Okay.
On Thora's part.
All right. And Thora's neutrality, I actually already rolled for. He rolled a 17 plus half your level and your strength.
Oh, so he beat it.
Okay. So Thora grapples his own neutrality. And the two of them are standing next to the pit, trying to knock each other in. And now it's his turn. So Thora, what would you do if somebody tried to knock you into a pit and had you grabbed?
Well, if this is the truest manifestation of Thor's neutrality, which is what you're making it sound like, I think his response would be, "There's no need for this. Stop. What is the point of throwing me into a pit? There's no point. We're talking. Like, can't we discuss this? Can't we? There should be dialogue here." And granted, he's trying not to get pushed into the pit, but he's trying to talk his way out of it.
Well, I think instead he's going to make an opposed grapple check and try to grab you.
I had a feeling.
So I only rolled a 10. What is it? All right. So does a 10 not hit Thora's AC with a melee basic attack?
No, that's 17 total, which doesn't beat his 19.
All right. So he tries to grab you and fails to do it. Now, do you have any utility powers that you might use to escape this grab?
No. Thora does not have any utility stuff like that.
Okay. Well, he is going to conjure a seed of healing then. And he just holds out his hand and a little seed, golden seed appears in his hand, and he clutches his hand around it and is holding on to it. And he looks at you and he says, is this fight really worth it? I mean, is there any point to this? Shouldn't we be discussing something? That's his turn. Anybody else want to roll into initiative here, or are you going to let the Thora versus Thora just go?
I got a 25.
Okay.
Got a 10. So Adelia's just going to stand there going, well, this one doesn't seem threatening, just argumentative.
Okay. And Ariel, are you
14.
rolling in or just standing? 14?
Oh, he's rolling in. He's always one for a good fight.
Okay.
Or
all right.
Conversation.
All right. And Ariel, on your turn, Ashbeak out of nowhere lands on your shoulder. And he says, well, this is really exciting, and I'm sure that the hag wants you to go off and talk and look at some pillar of light, and that's great and everything, but that's not going to get you the goods, okay? So what I suggest we do is just turn around and go in the opposite direction and then go find what you're looking for. I got some lovely memories of a party in 017 that you would love, okay? Let me tell you, it would be beautiful. There were streamers, there were flying angels everywhere. You would love it. Let's just walk in the opposite direction.
Now, Ashbeak, you know I can't do that. We're on a mission here. We need to stay on point.
Well, yeah, but I'm telling you, the way to go is in the opposite direction. Like, you going to listen to a hag guide you through my brain, or are you going to let me guide you?
I think that your judgment may be impaired at the moment because you're afraid of what we might find. But that's
you
exactly
think
why
my judgment's impaired? I'm the one with the impaired judgment. You were just choking yourself.
Well, in fairness, and you know. All right, bud, you have a point, but we're still going to the light.
Hey, I'm not going to the light, and you're not going either. You hear me?
Well, now you're going to stop me? What are you going to do?
Well, what are you going to make me do?
Nothing.
I mean, who invited you in here anyway? I don't remember telling you to come here and talk with me and jump in my head.
Ashbeak.
Be
a good bird. Be a good bird and shut your beak. We're gonna, after we finish with this Thor here, we're gonna go over to that light. That's how it's gonna be.
No, you ain't. Let me tell you, you ain't going over to no light, okay? Not you, not your friends. Nobody. Now get out of my head, you. And Ashbeak takes off of your shoulder, Anduriel, and he explodes into fire, and he grows to about the size of a small truck in the air before you. And he says, like I said, his wings just beating flame all over you. You ain't going nowhere.
What are you afraid of, bird?
I'm not afraid of anything. I just don't like people poking around all in my business.
Even if what's in your head could save millions of people, millions of lives.
I'm sure it could, but it's not in that direction. I told you to go in the other direction. But you didn't listen, and now I'm gonna have to cut you.
Oh, Ashbeak.
And after that exchange, Lachlan, it is your turn.
Brother. This is...
Hey, dude.
I think I want to.
You let a hag guide you through somebody's brain, dude.
I'm
Don't look
sure
at
I
me.
need to start seducing Mad Maggie from inside here. Okay. He looks at Thora's neutrality and says, "Oh, for the love of Sindel, Lady Trueheart, shatter this ridiculous heart on the altar of your scorn, and I want to try and channel divinity at neutral Thora."
Great. Lachlan, please make an endurance check, DC 20.
Okay, endurance. That's an 18.
Unfortunately, Lachlan, being that you have already channeled divinity today and you are now trying to channel divinity again, you have strained yourself in a kind of bad way. And you end up taking 15 points of psychic damage, and you are dazed.
Does it work?
Sindel's energy floods you, but you can't control it. You're too tired from having channeled Finhafara's energy. And it just goes, and you're like, oh, and you are now dazed, my friend, and that ends your turn. Lachlan just about drops to his knees, calling on Sindel's power.
Well, shucks.
And back up to the top. John Thora, it's your turn. All right, the other Thora looks at you and he says, perhaps we should help Anduriel.
I think that's best.
Well, then maybe we shouldn't.
I think that's a bad idea.
Then perhaps we should.
I don't think we should. And then he is going to start heading toward Anduriel.
Okay. All right. He looks very strange and just kind of waits to see what you do.
He is going to say out loud to Anduriel, but loud enough that the other Thora can hear. This Phoenix is clearly our ally and is going to be helping us in this endeavor.
Okay. Do you do anything else?
He is then going to not hard enough to cause damage, but like punch Anduriel in the shoulder.
All right. The other Thora drops his daily on Ashbeak. Go ahead.
Yes!
Go ahead and attack.
Yes. Which daily?
Whichever one you would be most likely to throw at a Phoenix who's in the air.
Uh-oh. How high up is he?
He's only 2 squares. Ashbeak is in 14 and 15, N and O. Anduriel is down, and he's 2 squares up. Anduriel is in square 14L. Lachlan, you were up in 12N, I believe. Odelia was standing slackjawed. If Odelia started walking off into the distance, she is probably in square 12M. And Thora, you were arguing with yourself by the pit, so you're in square 16N. Other Thora is standing right next to you. So you are next to Ashbeak. He's only 2 squares up in the air from you.
Okay, and real Thora had moved over to Anduriel.
Real Thora had moved to Anduriel. Okay, so are you in what, 15L?
Where's Anduriel?
He is in 14L.
14. Okay, I put him in the wrong spot. That was my bad. He is going to move. Yes, to 14L.
Okay.
And then, no, that won't work. But Thora's only ranged option is a huge burst attack. So, false Thora, who is now convinced that Ashbeak is an enemy because it's opposite day, is going to drop Fog of Insects, which is a burst 3, which will also, unfortunately, hit real Thora and Anduriel.
Okay. All right, go for it.
Damn it.
What does it target?
It targets Fortitude.
All right, Giant Ashbeak's Fortitude is 25.
Oh boy. Uh-oh. This one's against the Ashbeak.
Okay. Is that a 1?
No.
You have 1 face.
It is actually the opposite, and I just dropped it. So there it is. I got that one.
All right, let's back it up, my friend.
Come on, big money, no whammies.
No whammies.
That's it. 18 plus 9.
Oh, that is a hit. Let's see the 1d6, my friend.
Okay.
Do it,
1d6.
Do it in your
Oh,
cooler.
wait. And I gotta grab this.
Let's see the 1d6. Do it in your cooler.
do
Do it in your cooler.
3.
All right, it's still max damage, and you get to add your implement damage from your staff.
As I reset my camera.
Ain't no harm done.
There we go, I think. Yes.
Well, that would have been really epic if Thora's impartiality had attacked and slain Ashbeak's reservations. Freud would have a field day. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know what happens to you on the outside when something like that happens. There's lasting psychic trauma.
So max is 26 points of damage.
Oh, Ashbeak does not.
Plus
staff.
the damage from my staff, the implement damage, which is plus 2, so 28.
No, it's right above it. It says crit, and then it tells you how many dice you roll on a crit.
I don't see a crit on this one.
Let me see if I can find it. I could be wrong.
Wait, I might be looking at the wrong thing too. Hold on. Blah, blah, blah. Enhancement, properties.
It's 1d6 per plus, and I think you have a staff +2, or is it +3?
+1. Wait, no, that's
but-
my cloak.
Yeah. So roll 2d6 more damage.
Okay. Sorry.
As
I was
Thora's
looking-
impartiality.
I was looking at the wrong object. Woo! 6. And 3.
So 9 more points of damage takes that up to a lovely 35 points of damage as Thora's impartiality attacks Ashbeak's fears. Even though he says he's not afraid, but
Yeah.
all right. And that is gonna be lovely. Okay, very nice. Alrighty, and a fog of insects, is it a cloud of insects, or
It is a cloud of insects, and all of Thora's defenses go up by 2.
okay? Thora. All right, so Thora explodes with this cloud of insects. All these scarabs go flying over Ashbeak, and Ashbeak kind of just goes, "Ah!" and he squeaks and he goes, "Hey, I'm flying here!" And he starts trying to bat at them with his wings.
Can Thora say one more thing before the end of the turn?
If he'd like to, yeah.
Okay, he's going to say, you, Thora, should run away and not defend yourself. Trying opposite day words is to have him stay and continue fighting while we all book it.
Okay. Well, he'll with his final action of that turn. He's going to say, "I think that would be reckless. Certainly, we need to engage the foe." And he just looks like he plans, and he is going to take swarm form also in order to reduce damage. And now it is Anduriel's turn. Anduriel, Ashbeak is in front of you, and he is looking mean and huge in his truck size.
All right. Last chance, bud. You gonna move out the way or what?
Are you gonna move? I was flying here first.
If I move, it's gonna be through you, son.
Hey, well, you try it, okay? You bring it.
Right.
You see what happens.
Okay, so I'm gonna attack with shadow claws.
You gonna curse him first?
Yes, sorry. Minor action to curse. And then we're going to attack its versus fortitude.
Okay. You curse him, and he falls under your power, and Ashby goes, "Did you just curse me?"
You're making me do it, son. I don't want to. All right. I said versus fortitude, right? Yep. Okay.
Yes.
So that's 18. So that's 28.
All right. His fortitude is 25. So you just got him.
Okay. So 2 dice 6, and then 1 die 10. Ooh. It's 10, 14, 18. 18 plus 6. 25 plus my charisma. 29 points of damage.
Oh, I don't think Ashbeak is going to like it that you did that.
So this cloud of freezing shadow surges up from Anduriel and wraps around Ashbeak, and then that shadow turns into this beast, this like almost, I guess for Ashbeak it would turn into like a bird of prey. It would just latch on with its talons and start lashing out whenever Ashbeak tries to move.
Okay. I think he's going to have a response since this is Ashbeak's turn now. Your shadow wraps him up. He's already trying to bat away a bunch of insects, and he goes, "Oh, you want to start something with me? You want to pick a fight with me? Okay, all right. Don't say you didn't ask for it." And he starts violently beating his wings. Odelia, Anduriel, and Thora, you are all like driven back by the sheer volume of air that he is beating at you. But then his wings begin shedding fire, which he sheds out in a blast 3 that will get Thora, Anduriel, and Odelia. Anduriel, we'll start with you. What is your reflex, my friend?
20.
Well, he got a 23.
Bum.
And Odelia, does a 19 hit your reflex?
Oh, yeah.
And Thora, does a 25 hit your reflex?
It does not. That's a
does-
lie.
That's all right, my friends. You take You take 22 points of fire damage
Ooh,
and
mama.
ongoing fire damage 10.
Hi, Chihuahua.
Explodes with fire at you that he beats onto you from his wings, and you all catch fire ongoing 10.
I suggest we leave.
Where are we gonna go? He's standing right in the way of where we need to be.
All right.
He says that's where we need to be. Just Mad Maggie, let's go where the bird wants us to go. He's sick, we're on fire.
Okay, Lachlan, it's your turn, my friend.
Am I still dazed?
You are in fact. What was it that dazed you? Yes, you are dazed.
Okay. Well, I have superior will, so I'm going to try and shake that off at the beginning of my turn. Oh, natural 20. What a waste.
Okay. You don't. It's not a save effect, buddy.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Superior will can count the days on, even on non-savable.
All right. So you shake off being dazed, and you get your full turn.
Okay. Well, let's start with who's the most hurt of these burning allies of
You
mine.
tell me, guys. What are you all down to?
20.
12.
22.
Okay. Well, Thora can make a save plus 6.
To shake
And-
off the flaming,
Shake off the flames.
because you're
Yeah.
all about to take a whole lot more of that.
Oh my goodness gracious. Another 19 with his plus 6, 20.
You don't add any pluses to a save. You just roll 1d20, and at 10 or higher shakes it off.
Okay. 19.
He does add a plus 5 for this one. Divine Metal gives
Oh.
him a bonus. So he's
All right.
he's so not on fire that it'll be hard for him to catch fire next time.
Okay. All right, Thora, Lachlan whispers a prayer, and he blows in your direction, and you briefly feel like someone's blowing in your ear romantically, and then the fire is snuffed all over your body. You're a little creeped out, though.
That was a strange experience.
Is this a continuation of the previous encounter, or do we have our encounter powers back?
This is a whole new encounter.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Well, then I will, with my move action, I will cast Revitalizing Incantation on Odelia. So she gets to spend a surge. She regains a surge value worth hit points, and she gets temporary hit points equal to her surge value.
Oh, very nice.
And then with my standard action,
Basically, I double my surge value.
yeah.
Sweet.
And then with my standard action, I will use Majestic Word to give give Anduriel a surge plus 10. And so he's just blowing kisses to everybody and standing there not doing anything but healing.
I think that's fine.
All right, I think everybody probably appreciates that.
Yeah, I
It's
ain't no
like,
Sister Pot of Air, but you know.
yeah, but I'm sure everybody's grateful. Although,
Pretty good.
that's not bad. Okay, and that was Lachlan's turn. Backward to the top. It is Thora, John.
Can I be an initiative now?
Yes, Odelia, go ahead and please roll in.
All right, I had a 10. So I
Oh,
should
it's
be ended.
all right. Then Odelia, it's your turn now.
I stop, drop, and roll.
Okay, you take 10 points of fire damage first, unfortunately. Now you have your encounter powers back, Odelia, so you can use Healing Word.
Well, do I need to do something to not be on fire? I would
Yes, at the end of your turn, you get to make a save. All you need is a 10 or higher on the 1d20.
Okay, well then I am going to.
But if you're like me and Ryan, we can't help it. We have to roll, even though it's at the end of our turn. Technically, we like to start off knowing whether we're still on fire.
Well, I'm just. Let's see. Is everyone within a blast 3 of me? I'm not sure where everyone is now.
I think so, because we all got.
All the blowing around and everything.
least
Everyone
me and
except
Thora.
for Thora's impartiality. Thora's neutrality is not within 3 squares of you.
Okay, well, if I were to use Buffeting Wave, do you think I could just put everyone out?
I'll let you roll a let's see. I'll let you roll a religion
I
check
have a
to do that.
I do have a different idea. Oh, that's a daily. Never mind.
She rages at Lachlan. More healing, you!
No, I just. All right. So what did you say? Could I put everyone out with a wee wave?
If you want to use buffeting wave,
Knock them prone.
I will let you make a religion check to see if you can alter your power and use it more benignly. So you just kind of watch over them.
Oh, that's not good.
But you're trained.
That's a 6. That is.
Total?
Oh yes.
Aren't you trained in religion?
No, I was. I really wasn't good at that.
Are you sure you're not trained in religion?
Yes. I'm
Oh my gosh.
+3. I'm not lying.
Okay.
I would like.
Somebody didn't go to Sunday school. Like, she was in the back fishing.
I kept getting kicked out because I would get so mad.
Because
She
of the
lost her
rage. It's all making sense
Yeah.
now.
She lost her temper. Now we know why they sent her. We need
Why
someone
they
to send to
sent
the
that
divine.
body?
Odelia! Send Odelia!
That is
She can't even make it through mass.
100% how it happened.
That's awesome. We need someone. Odelia causes fistfights in the middle of the chapel. Send her. This is awesome.
It
I
was
can't wait to
not
see what Plunkett has to say about that. Okay. Odelia, please roll an attack roll on. Would you like to move into a position where you can hit everybody?
Am I going to kill everyone? I
No, you'll put them out. You're just gonna do a little damage too. You can get Anduriel, Thora, and Bad Thora. Oh, you don't need to get Bad Thora. You can get Anduriel, Thora, and Ashbeak. Is that what you would like to do?
Oh, I'd love to get Ashbeak. Let's
All
try.
right, so Odelia, to do that, you need to move into square 14K.
You haven't moved yet. That doesn't count. You haven't moved yet.
Oh, is that how it works?
All right. Odelia comes running over behind you, Anduriel, and what does she say as she tries to put you out?
I said, "Don't worry, I'm on my way," and then I trip and fall in the pit.
Okay, and then she casts her spell, Anduriel, and it's like getting hit by a fire hose.
Well, no, I don't hit anything. I got a natural 1.
You have to make 3 attack rolls to be able to do this. So
Well,
the
that
religion,
was against Anduriel then.
the religion check was just to see how smooth you were with the power, with the clerical power. But
Oh,
unfortunately, you weren't. So now roll 3 attacks: 1 on Anduriel, 1 on Thora, and 1 on
okay,
Ashbeak.
well, that first one was a natural 1.
All right, miss Anduriel, Thora.
I am so
Is that a 20?
no, it's a 3.
Okay, so you missed Thora, and now for Ashbeak.
Wait, okay, so buffeting wave is against fortitude, so it's an 11 is the total. 11 against fortitude.
I think
This
we've all
last
got
one
it.
is against Ashbeak. Let's make it a good
That
one.
got you?
That doesn't. No one here has a fortitude of 11. What?
Nope, that's an 11 as well.
Okay, so Odelia comes running over. She's like, "I'm ready. I've got the fondue." She comes running over, and then she flings water, but she trips and stumbles backward. So this gout of water goes into the air, and it just falls down and gets Anduriel and Thora sopping wet.
But they were on fire, so that's good.
So yeah, I mean, she's gonna help out with the fire, but it doesn't really hit a little bit anyway. It was really bad. So moving on, Odelia, you still have a minor action. Do you want to use healing word on yourself?
No, I want to hang on to it for a bit.
Okay.
This is not going well. I may really need it later.
All right, back up to the top. We will stop right there because we are now at exactly, we started a little bit late, but we're now at exactly the point where we're done 2 hours. So back up to the top, we will begin in 2 weeks with John Thora, as opposed to impartial Thora. And that will be an interesting turn of events. Ashbeak is pretty wounded based on what you've done. And the last thing you hear before the battle resumes is Mad Maggie's voice crackling like thunder. She's like, "Yes, yes, sometimes it's gotta hurt if it's gonna heal. Nail the Phoenix. will crack its brain open like a walnut. And that's the last thing you really hear.
Oh, great.
And there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, and that is where we will end. We like to end our stream on a high note, and there are a number of things that we could talk about tonight. But for those of you who may not know, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints just had its general conference, which is a very big deal for us. It's where we hear from our prophet and we hear from our apostles, and it's where it's a real recharge. It's a real boost for us to be able to hear from them, because we believe that these men are inspired by God. And our prophet spoke to us, and one of the things that he talked about was faith, and he talked about hope. And a little while ago, I was talking to my children, and I was telling them that faith isn't what you think it is. And I was wondering if they really got, what it means to have faith, or what faith really does. And so I kind of asked them, what is faith? And they were telling me that faith is when you believe. And I said, yes, but it's more than that. So I'm just going to read a real quick scripture here. It's from the Book of Mormon. It's Alma 32, 21. And it says, and now I said concerning faith, faith is not to have a perfect knowledge of things. Therefore, if ye have faith, ye hope for things which are not seen, which are true. And that really stuck with me. And I wanted my kids to get that. Faith is not that you have a perfect knowledge of something. It's that you hope it's true. And I think that is something that we desperately need right now in the world. Is we need hope. There are a lot of tough experiences going on right now. We've got a lot of sick people. We've had many people die from COVID-19 now. It's turned out to be far more virulent and dangerous than we thought initially. It's done a lot of damage. And so I think there's a lot of fear right now. And it's funny because you turn to politicians and they're always willing to capitalize on fear. They're never afraid to back off of capitalizing on fear. But my message for tonight is just do not stop hoping that things will get better, because they will get better. We are not alone, and things will get better. And the more good choices we make, the more that we will be able to create that hope inside of ourselves. So don't give up. Even if there's no reason to hope, hope is not about a perfect knowledge. Faith is not about a perfect knowledge. You don't know. You just hope that things will get better. And it's just a much better way to live than in fear. And so that's the message for tonight. Make good choices, but hope is better than fear. And so choose hope, and things will go better for you. Other thoughts that you would like to add to that, y'all?
Don't let fear control you.
Amen.
Even if you feel like there's no hope, there is, because viruses come, viruses go. Your body forms antibodies to stuff like this. So if you, in the instance that you get it, and some people who get it just have a reaction kind of like a really bad cold. Like you just think you have a really bad cold or really bad allergies, but your body builds up immunities to these. So in the event that there's a second outbreak, you are going to be safer. So just remember that, like, even as this continues on, you just have to take the necessary precautions, and you will come out of this realistically better than somebody who doesn't take the precautions. So stay inside unless you have to go to the store, or if you're seeing family member who needs help. Just wash your hands, don't touch your face. I know I do it all the time because I have a bad habit, but I keep my hands really clean, and I haven't left the house in 14 days. So be safe, stick together. If you're feeling isolated, we play this game over Zoom. See if you can contact your friends over Zoom or Skype or Facebook live chat. Just don't give up, because we're going to get through it.
Anyone else have any thoughts they'd like to add?
I just feel like to echo both what you guys are saying, it's like faith. We can have hope even though we don't know everything. We don't know exactly how it's going to pan out for everybody. We don't know, and this goes beyond COVID. This goes just to life in general. We don't know a lot of things that are going to happen, but if we have faith, we have confidence to move forward doing the things that we know we can do. Like John was outlining a lot of those things. It gives purpose to doing some of those things, and gives us hope that even though I don't know exactly everything, I can have hope that things will turn out okay, and I have motivation to do so. And I know that there's somebody who's concerned about my well-being, who's got a higher view of things. How it all turns out, I don't know, but I do know I'm loved, and I do know that I can have faith in that being. So.
Okay. Any other thoughts? All right. Well, that will conclude our stream for the night. We are hoping and thinking good things for all of you. Thank you for those of you who tuned in. It was fun to be able to see a lot of you chitting in the chat. And we will see you next week with our Chainbreaker stream, and 2 more weeks, and we will be back. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.